got the very talented Jermaine Dupri in the studio. How are you doing, sir?
What's up, man? What's going on? I'm chilling. How you?
Good, good. Welcome to San Diego. You know, you've been here many times before.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite things about San Diego? Gotta tell me.
I actually didn't know. I came here one weekend. I didn't know that downtown was as popping as it is on the weekend. like literally, it's crazy out there. Like, you know, I mean, I don't have to tell everybody it's here, they know, but I didn't know it was, you know, I didn't know that it was crazy. Like, it's like so much going on the weekend.
That's true. We have one of the best downtowns in the world.
Yeah, totally.
And like, I've been looking at your videos and DJing and all that stuff, and man, can you just explain for people that don't know the Jermaine Dupri DJ experience?
Well, you got to come to the club tonight, but nah, I mean, it's just, you know, I just try to have fun and play the records that I think that the people want to hear, as opposed to, you know, most of the time I think a good DJ to me is a person that plays records that the people in the audience want to listen to. You know what I mean? So I pay attention to the crowd a lot, and if the crowd is like looking around, drinking, not paying attention to me DJing, then the song is getting switched. So I'm more about, you know, pleasing the audience when I DJ. That's
what's up. And one of the things I have to, you know, give you props on, which you don't see nowadays, is DJing on vinyl, using vinyl to turntables.
Yeah. Oh, they can't. They don't know how to do it. So it's like majority of DJs that DJ now, they just started DJing like about a year ago. You know what I mean? Even the famous ones, they just started DJing like a year ago. So they don't really know too much about vinyl. You know what I mean? And the vinyl feels different than CDJs for them. So same way CDJs feel different to me. So it's like, it's just, you know, it's just a different. If you come from a different place when you DJing, that's what it is.
Why do you think that changed? Because when did the change happen?
What's that? What changed?
The change of, you know, a lot of newer DJs are coming out, you know, playing CDJs, and also, I don't know, in my opinion, like playing just maybe the same type of music, and not so much for the crowd, but for themselves, and also mixing and, you know, so record selection and taking time to prep. Just like you said, you played for the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, you take the time and go, if the crowd's not feeling this, I'm gonna play this record.
Yeah.
You know that, and I growing up, I thought that's how DJing should be, but that's changed a little bit. Why, in your opinion, you know?
Well, I also think like DJing has gotten famous because of the EDM DJs, right? So the EDM DJs don't have a choice to switch to a record that the crowd likes. They can only play the same type of music. You know what I mean? They might not. I mean, even if they want to, I think that's why they created trap. You know what I mean? They created trap so that they can have a break away from the straight EDM, and they could sneak some rap music in, right? And that's what it basically is. And that's to me, that's what trap became. But yeah, I don't. When I'm watching the EDM DJs and I'm seeing the crowd, they don't have the crowd. They can't get them back anyway because they're so far gone off into that sound that, you know, it would be just drastic if they just switched it in the middle. But I mean, it's just, I think for them it's different. Like with me, when you're open format DJ, you can switch the records and people are expecting the music. Then they don't expect you to play like 5-6 minutes of a song either. Those guys be playing like, they play their records for like 5 minutes.
That's
like
so
they be up there talking to the DJ booth, drinking, smoking cigarettes, and the record's just playing.
Well, I gotta give you your credit. I mean, aside from, you know, 20 years of So Def and all that stuff, I like to say you see the trends before they didn't happen. You did a record with Chucky, and that was when EDM started blowing up. You know, that was you can stay relevant, you can stay hot, and, you know, you're one of those artists, you know, that have always been able to adapt. How does an artist, you know, that's been you know, in the game forever, how do you keep adapting? What's the biggest thing?
I'm addicted to new. You know what I mean? Like I'm addicted to everything that's new. Anything that's new, I'm addicted to. And I'm addicted to new before it even come out. You know what I mean? So it's like new artists, new DJs, new music, new everything. My ears is more catering to listening to something that's new than it is listening to something that's already out. You know what I mean? Like I brought y'all a record today that a new artist that I found, basically, that I feel like that I introduced to myself on the internet, basically, and then, you know, we created a relationship, and we put together this whole song, and I'm gonna give it to you. But it's like that's the whole key. The key to me is for me anyway, is to just continue to always love and be addicted to whatever's new. As a technology is whatever it is always the same. You know, there's a newness. Usually the kids that's trying to do the new things are usually the ones that's pushing the envelope. Yeah.
And then with this new song you got going on, you know, how did it come together? If you could break down its name and all that good stuff.
I mean, it's a kid named Rolls Royce Rizzy. He's from Atlanta. He had a song called Goddamn, and it's not spelled G-O-D, by the way. It's G-A-H. So yeah, I don't think that, you know what I mean. I heard the song and like immediately I was like, oh, I'm getting on this record. And I wasn't really like, I didn't say I'm gonna get on the record. Same thing with Chucky. I didn't say I was getting on the record to meet the artist. I didn't say I was getting on the record to the artist to have, you know, for us to even collaborate. I just jump on people's records that I like because I like them, right? And I think that I always want to make people understand my taste. I don't care, you know, what everybody else is on. That's what you on. I like this and I like this, and I'm gonna show you by if I get on the record, I'm jump on it. And plus, when I DJ now, I could play the records myself, right? So I jumped on the record and I started telling people on Twitter I was gonna jump on it. Then he's seen it. Then we started talking on Twitter, and it just became like a, you know, we became close. Now I manage him, and it's like a we put together this whole remix version of the song. It's got K-Camp on it. It's got Twista. It's got Lil Scrappy. It's just a crazy record now. So it's like, you know, we're doing that, and like just like you said, the Chucky record. I jumped on that record when I was, because I have a residency in Vegas, so I'm there every other. Matter of fact, I'm there this Saturday. If you're gonna be in Vegas, I'm there this Saturday at Tris. So I got a residency there at Tris. So I've been doing Tris for like the last 4 years. So it's like, when I hear a record that I like that, I don't know, y'all, did y'all hear the Curve Maverick record, the Hell Yeah record? I don't know if you heard it, but I jumped on that record, and it's another artist that is an EDM artist that do, you know, he was doing his records, and he had a crazy record called Hell Yeah, and I was like, man, I kept hearing it, and I'm like, I'm gonna jump on it to make my own version, right? And I did it, and then it alluded me to meeting him and kicking it. Then me and him just did a remix of Mariah's new single "Do You Mind," an EDM version where we collide, you know, the ideas of, you know, what I come from to what he got, you know what I mean? So it's just, you know, it's just like it creates the door of creation as opposed to being stale. Like, I hate staleness and stale people and just all of that. I can't deal with that. And
you know, I think that's why, you know, the roster just speaks for itself of who you've worked with, who you made famous, and it's just like you're great at it. And one thing I wanted to ask you is, especially you're one of the artists that are more open to EDM, like, why do you think, you know, people in mainstream and, you know, pop, hip-hop, some people, you know, may have the capability to work with EDM artists but won't? I've always wanted to ask people that, you know, are they scared? Are they worried they don't feel like that's the sound? Because, you know, when I feel like when genres collide, they do great.
Yeah, I mean, you know, EDM, the genre itself doesn't speak the same language as of R&B or even hip-hop, you know what I mean? Because culturally, hip-hop, when you hear hip-hop records, you start thinking about where you were, what you had on, the girl you met, what you was smoking. Like, it's so much things that go along in your mind when you hear a rap record that you love, right? But EDM, it's nothing but I was high as hell, and that's it, right? It's you wasn't in your hood listening to EDM. You wasn't at your girl house. It's like those records only happen at one place where like a hip-hop record has so many different arms. Like, if it's an old hip-hop record, you remember what you was doing back then. I was in school, and like, you have such a story, right? So then a lot of these artists that are into that cultural part of it don't feel like giving that culture to EDM, because it takes away from it. Actually, it does, because you don't really have that to talk about anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't go to Coachella and you heard that song when you popped that Molly or whatever it was that you did, then you don't have no real story behind why you actually like this song. You know what I mean? Besides the fact that you probably was like wasted in the Hard Rock one night or something. Like, I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not really the stories that go to EDM are not like the stories that go to the hip hop world. So I think a lot of times people they're a little nervous of that.
Speaking of stories, the one record that I remember, and you know, you bring it up, it's so funny when you made with Fabulous Baby Don't Go.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard the record online. I ran to the program director. I was like 18 or 19. I was like, this record needs to get played on the radio just for me. Explain how did it come together? Because I just like I never decided that.
I really don't. Well, I think when Fab came to Atlanta, we did like 3 songs, but I personally knew Baby Don't Go was the record that I really wanted him to rock, because I hadn't really heard him do a song like that in a long time. And speaking of that, I'm probably gonna tell him tonight, like, we need to make another one of those. But yeah, I always loved Fab as an artist, and I always thought that, you know, he fit well on the records that I made, as well as he fits well on all the records he makes, period. But that song in particular, only thing that was crazy about that song is that I did the hook, and when I do the hooks on my records, most of the time it's just there for a dummy it's a dummy hook to get somebody, right? And I put the little, vocoder thing on my voice so I could sound like T-Pain, because I was like, yo, I want T-Pain on this record, or we got to get somebody to do it like that. And I think at the time we couldn't get T-Pain. So then they was like, well, JD, just leave your vocals. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't want my that ain't what I do. But, I mean, we left it and it worked, so it is what it is. And then we finally got T-Pain afterwards, but it was like me and T-Pain singing the hook.
We played the JD version.
Yeah.
JD is not the T-Pain version wasn't the same as the JD version.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, that's how I go. So it is what it is.
And thank you for sharing. I've always
that's
one of the questions that I wanted to ask.
No, all good.